Hi, everyone. Okay, I don't know about you, but I'm surprised I'm even here. It's been a real scramble for the last week or so, completely out of routine and kilter. So I'm actually surprised I remembered it was Monday. So you at least get the benefit of all my notifications, including the fact that I sent a notification out last night at 1:30 a.m. I was informed as soon as I got up this morning that no, I wasn't live at 2 a.m. last night. Hi, Audrey. How are you? Merry Christmas. Good to see you here. Anyway, I think the news is pretty obvious for everyone. Everyone's either madly wrapping Christmas presents or sitting back and sipping eggnog. Hi, Mary. How are you? Merry Christmas to you too. Thank you very much. This seems to be the day where everyone's either one thing or the other. They're either very busy or they're sitting back and relaxing and thinking, thank God it's done. I just have to get to the good stuff now. So I just thought I'd touch on some news before we get into the interesting stuff. I got lots of recipes last week. Karen, hi, I'm amazed. Merry Christmas, because I know for Karen and everyone in Australia and New Zealand, it's already Christmas Day. So I really appreciate you taking the time to tune in, Karen. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you and to your family. I hope it's not too hot there. I hope you're enjoying yourselves. Hope you got good stuff under the tree this morning. So let me see, where were we? I got lots of recipes last week that unfortunately came in after I had set up the post. And there's a snowflake just went up, bubble just went up. Thank you. I got lots of recipes last week that came in after I had done the post. So I think I may have to run another post at this point after Christmas to share all the recipes that I got afterwards. And I must put out a special thank you to Anna, who's not actually, that I can't see her in comments. There she is. Speak of the devil. Merry Christmas, Anna. I was just talking about you. I don't know how long you've been tuned in for, but I was about to say that you were one of the people in particular who sent in ton of recipes for the post last week, but they came in too late for me to put in the actual post. Anna actually translated her recipes from traditional Hungarian recipes, and they're in English. So I think I really don't want to waste them. So because they sound, while I was reading through them, and they're absolutely gorgeous. So I think I'll do an extra post, but at this point it'll be after Christmas Day. I'll add in Anna's in particular and get those recipes out to everyone on the email list as well. So thank you, Anna, for translating. That's great. I appreciate that. And I'm sure everyone else will too when they see the recipes. So you may notice I'm somewhat more formal than I would normally be. We have, and the other thing that you may notice is you may be able to pick up a lot of background sound in the microphone at the moment because it's super sensitive. That's because we have got an absolutely chock full house at the moment. We've got 6 people staying here. We've got another one coming tonight, so we'll have 7 people in the house sitting around the Christmas tree tomorrow morning. And there's one person's upstairs in the kitchen currently making pastry. I believe she's making a lemon meringue pie, which is like, oh my God. There's another person sitting up in the kitchen at the counter that's probably tuned into this. Hi, Mark. And there's 2 more people down in the basement. There's somebody else up in the lounge room. And there's all sorts of noise going on. There's people playing games. There's people listening to recipes, other people watching YouTube videos. So it's this house has been for the longest time a 2-person house. We were empty nesters. And then suddenly right now it's super, super busy. So if you hear any background noise coming in, That's what's going on. So I can actually hear myself. I can hear videos playing upstairs. So if it gets too distracting, let me know and I'll yell. Typical mother, I'll yell for silence. We'll see how we go. I'm just going to have a quick look at comments here because they're piling up. So Karen, yes, I said hi, Merry Christmas. Thank you so much for tuning in. That's great. Audrey, take some time for yourself, you work hard. I haven't been lately. The last few days I've been doing Christmas presents and stuff, and I still can't show you anything, but I've been taking photos madly of everything that I've made and wrapped up. So I'll show all of those after tomorrow. So, and Anna, Merry Christmas. Yes, and Merry Christmas to you too. Thank you. Karen, 29 degrees for today. So that's the temperature in Melbourne, and that would be Celsius. Yet to find out if you've been naughty or nice. Of course you're nice. You're always nice. So, Anna, it must be lovely to have so many friends, family around for Christmas. Actually, they're all family. And yes, one of them, of course, is my mum, who came all the way from Australia. So it's been great. I've probably been boring all the kids because I've been sitting around making things. So, but my mum is into making things too, so I think she's actually enjoyed it. So, and Sandy, hello, welcome. Merry Christmas. This is an auspicious day to get online. Finally, she managed it. Sandy's been having all sorts of problems trying to get on for these chats. I think, and clearly she obviously just made it today, which is great. And that's the end of comments for right now. So anyway, as I was saying, you may have noticed I'm slightly more formal. And here comes my mum.
Just to say hello.
This is my mum. Yeah, Bunty.
Merry Christmas.
And she disappears. That's brave of her. So as I said, I got a full house. Baz, come here. Come here. Jump up. Up. You can't see, but there's a dog down here. Baz is saying hello. Come here. Come on, jump up. Up. Up here. No, she's too obedient. She's just sitting. She knows she has to sit to get cuddles, so she won't jump up because she'll get in trouble. But anyway, there is the dog sitting next to me and looking adorable with big brown eyes. So anyway, to get back, the more formal dressing, the timing is kind of involved because it's just gone 2 p.m. here. And then everyone in the house is all dressed just like I am. And basically, as soon as I've finished the Facebook live session here, we're all hopping in the car and going to my husband's parents' place. We're doing a Christmas Eve thing there. So that's why all the dress ups and stuff, we're taking all the presents over tonight. And but we're not cooking, not tonight. We're not doing we're doing takeout Chinese from our favorite Chinese restaurant, which is just around the corner from Mark's mum and dad's place. So that's why I'm all dressed up. And as you can see, I'm still rubbing ears here and heads. So yes, you're a very good girl. Anyway, let me have a look here. Junita, hello, Merry Christmas. Karen, hello, Mum. So anyway, one of the things I wanted to go through was to find out, here's something that you can put in comments for me. Christmas Day traditions. How does your Christmas Day usually go? Because I've always assumed that everyone's Christmas Day would run more or less the same as mine until I moved to Canada and found out that no, they don't run the same way at all. There's people have got traditions and habits and family customs and cultural things that they do. Christmas in one household can be completely different from Christmas in other households, and definitely from country to country, they change. For instance, like I said, we're heading off to my husband's parents' place for the Christmas Eve dinner that we've been doing it for years and years. We exchange presents and then they all get opened in the morning. So Christmas Day in Canada for us is first thing in the morning, everyone sits around and unwraps presents. We tend to do it one at a time so we can all check out what everyone else got. And then after that, we have usually the very unhealthy bacon and eggs and hash browns and what else is there? Sometimes waffles, sausages, everything unhealthy you can think of for breakfast. That's what we have. So, but that's brunch. By the time we've got up and unwrapped the presents and had brunch and got to breakfast, then it's brunch time. So, but there's also, we have lots of stuff that we buy in extra for Christmas. I don't know about you, but Christmas seems to be the cookie and the chocolate time, which is why I've been good all this year up until Christmas. And then tomorrow I'm sort of breaking out. I've got chocolates and all sorts of candies and stuff like that stashed away for my big day. And then I go back to being good again. What do you do that's different? Is after we've done, of course, the dinner, Christmas dinner is turkey here, which is, I think, pretty much a standard in a lot of North American houses. But just to show you, this is how different it can get from one country to another. Here's how a typical Christmas goes, or used to go, when I was living in Australia. You get up, and of course, it's warm. It's summertime, and usually Christmas Day in Australia has been the hottest day on record a number of times for the year. And this year in Perth, where my mum is from, is going to be 39 degrees for Christmas Day. So they're probably already, let me look at the time here. It's 2:11 p.m. So Perth would be 2, 3, 4. It's 4 in the morning. So they're not quite awake yet in Perth. They are in Melbourne. Hi, Karen. But it would already starting to warm up as well. And Anna said something interesting here. We have turkey here in England as well. I did not realize that turkey was a thing in England as well. I thought it was purely a North American thing. So that's very interesting. Oh, I said interesting again. Damn, I thought I'd miss at least 1 week. Oh, well. Okay, so Australia. You get up, it's already warm. If it's going to be a hot day, sometimes you go and dangle your feet in the swimming pool. Everyone opens up presents in the morning. Now, I know that there are some families and some countries where the presents don't get opened up until evening. Personally, I don't think I could stand that, but they don't open them till the evening. And then there's some people that don't open their presents until the next day after Christmas. That's apparently why it's called Boxing Day, because that's when they open up the boxes and the presents and stuff like that. So it can be very different. And of course, in Australia, because of the heat, once you've opened up the Christmas presents, you have brunch. But quite often, our version of brunch in Australia was you head out to the patio outside, you throw the bacon on the barbecue, and you have champagne and orange along with your breakfast. There were some years where my mum and dad would just sit on the beach all day. They'd find some shade under a tree, and they'd just stay there for the day, go out and have a swim when it got too hot, come back in, sit out and have another drink. So because of the heat and the climate and stuff like that, it's very, very different. So you tell me, how different is your Christmas Day from the ones that I've experienced, depending on where you are? So, oh, sorry, Karen. Karen is in Wollongong, not Melbourne. So, and just FYI, Wollongong is New South Wales. And Melbourne is Victoria, 2 different states. So I was a little bit out there. But they're all eastern states, which in Western Australia, the eastern states are lesser. Whereas the eastern states over there, I think Perth is the lesser. You get that sort of semi-competition stuff going on with the eastern and western provinces in Canada too. Most likely you get them in the United States as well. It just seems to be a thing with these little competitions going on. Anyway, so there doesn't seem to be too many comments coming in here. We're a very small group. I'm thrilled that, oh, here we go, Anna. Stuffed turkey is the Christmas roast here in England with pigs in a blanket. Pigs in a blanket, by the way, everyone, if you don't know, is sausages wrapped in pastry, usually puff pastry. Different types of stuffing. I love stuffing with lots of gravy on it. Vegetables, gravy, cranberry sauce that Anna made herself. Very nice. Audrey, Christmas Eve was with the Italian side, so 7 fishes. Can you give us a list of the 7 fishes, Audrey? Christmas Day was for the kids, friends, and family, so Christmas Day dinner is at 2 p.m. to accommodate the drivers. Usually turkey or ham and lasagna, or homemade ravioli. Oh, that sounds good. Sides are candied yams, veggies, and then a dessert like pecan pie. Oh, which reminds me. Last week, Audrey, that sounds really great, but you diverted me because I just thought of something. 2 things, actually. Australia, we always used to do the big Christmas lunch rather than dinner, whereas here it seems to be dinner is the big meal instead of a lunch. The other thing that I was thinking of too was all the recipes last week. One of the ones that I came across was actually not from one of you guys, but it was one that I came across online from someone else. It was something called blondies, which I'd never heard of. Anyway, it sounded like a really easy recipe, and it had all the essentials in it, like caramel and chocolate. So I made them, and I didn't get to taste a single one of them. They all disappeared, like mysteriously. There was a whole box of them, and when I came back, the box was empty. So I ended up yesterday having to make a whole entire second batch of these blondies, and they're already half gone again. So they seem to be extremely popular. But nobody's owning to the fact that they're eating them. So I'm not sure who's doing it, but they're disappearing every time I turn around. You know how cookies do that? I think everyone's got at least one cookie thief in their house. So, and Junita, when I still have family, we did Christmas Eve immediate in the house, dinner home and presents. Then Christmas Day, grandmother lunch and aunts in the evening out in the country. Now each year is different. Not a lot this year. Exchange of gifts with some friends on the day in the AM, and then have the day to self to read, write, or whatever. That sounds like an incredibly peaceful, calm, and pleasant Christmas day, Janita, I must say. Just visiting and calm and niceness. So, oh, Anna, sausages wrapped in bacon. I do apologize. Yes, okay. That's the pigs in a blanket, is sausages wrapped in bacon. Mary, growing up here in Southern California, we opened presents at our house Christmas Eve. Santa filled our stockings, knitted by our great-grandma, so those we opened on Christmas Day. Then we went to our grandparents' house for Christmas Day, where we opened a second set of presents. Ooh. Our dinner was always ham, donuts made using the potica dough, and that's one of the recipes that Mary provided that I sent out in the blog post too, and all the fixings. And this year it's just me and the dogs. My goodness, that is a real change of pace for you, isn't it, Mary? So it sounds like a really busy Christmas that you used to have. So, and that's actually something you said in there, and I was thinking, oh, I must mention that. I'll think of it later when it's no longer important. Usually once I've shut down the chat, it's like, oh, I should have said blah, blah, blah. So, Anna misses the Hungarian custom of celebrating Christmas on Christmas Eve. Yeah, it varies so much between countries and cultures and stuff like that. But and she added here, in Hungary, Santa comes on the 6th of December. He has nothing to do with Christmas. Interesting. Yeah. So what, you get all the presents on December 6th, Anna? Or you may have to expand on that one a little bit. Karen Prince, blame it on the dog. Yes. My absent-mindedness about which state she's actually in. Yes. Okay. Anna, the Hungarian custom is the same as Janita's. Yes, it's interesting. There is parallels everywhere. So, Mary. Oh, I just remembered what it was that I was going to say. Hey, I'm doing well. Christmas stockings is not a thing in Australia because, well, one, most of the houses in Australia do not have a fireplace or a mantel shelf to hang the stockings from. And two, I'm just not sure why Christmas stockings are not really a thing in Australia, but they're not. I didn't grow up with Christmas stockings, but I've researched the tradition because Robin, who's married to my oldest son, her family do Christmas stockings, and they've been living in New Brunswick in the eastern part of Canada for generations. So I researched Christmas stockings, and for the past few years because I now have a fireplace with a mantel shelf. So for the last few years, I've been doing Christmas stockings and really getting into it. It's fun, and because none of the presents, it's not like the entire Christmas day will be ruined if you get the present wrong. You can do lots of silly little presents and bits and pieces that you can throw in there, which is, I kind of like that. It's you can go a little bit crazy and a little bit silly, and you can have a couple of little good pieces in there as well. So yes, since I moved to Canada, we've been doing Christmas stockings. Not since, but after moving here, I've started doing Christmas stockings, which I really like. So if anyone's got any tips on good things to put in Christmas stockings, that might be a good thing to share too. And Mary, try spreading a cream cheese frosting on top of the blondies and sprinkled chopped cranberries on top. Woo-wee, that sounds incredibly good. I happen to know that somebody upstairs is currently making cream cheese frosting to put on some cinnamon buns. So I may steal a spoonful or two and try that on top of a couple of pieces of the blondies. If there are any blondies left by the time the cream cheese frosting is made, I may end up having to make a whole new batch. So, Sandy, traditional dinner here in Ontario, dinner around 2 to 3, so there is lots of good leftovers for later in the evening. If there's snow, it's always snowman building and sledding. You must have a good hill somewhere nearby then, Sandy. We're pretty flat here in Alberta, except for the western edge where the Rockies are, but that's 2 or 3 hours from where we are. So, yeah, dinner around 2, 3. Leftovers, that was something else that we're going to do different this year. We've always planned on having a couple of meals after Christmas that are just leftover turkey reheated, but we're also preserving the carcass this year. We're going to create turkey soup and from scratch, so boiling up the stock in the stock pot from the bones and creating the very rich broth, and then building a turkey soup with the leftover meat from that too. And I'm trying to talk everyone into doing a Cajun soup with some green curry. Get a good green curry paste and put it in with the soup. I think it'll taste really good. But we may just end up with a traditional turkey soup, but that's going to be another extra meal from the leftovers too. Karen, talking about the blondies. Yes, thank you, Karen. We're still on me getting the states wrong. So, Anna, no, Santa fills our stockings with clementines. They're oranges, yes, Anna? Walnuts, etc. The stockings are hanging from the end of the beds. On the other hand, if we were naughty during the year, we get a piece of coal in our stockings. Yeah, I think the coal in the stockings, a lump of coal, is kind of traditional, isn't it? Janita, laugh out loud. We did not have a fireplace at all when I was a kid, but Mama did give me a stocking every year stuffed full of stuff. I like to give those to people I work with as gifts too. Always wanted a fireplace for the ambience. Yeah, so did I. Because I grew up in Australia where it's always stinking hot all the time, the idea of having a fireplace seemed like such a waste. So when I got to Canada, it was like, oh, I've got to have a fireplace because now I have a really good excuse for it. So we've been gradually renovating this house, which is very early 80s. It's quite old. We've been doing it up, and one of the first things we did on the main floor was put in a gas fireplace. So now I have the fireplace with the bookshelves on either side and the mantel shelf. It's all very traditional, and I love it. I've also got a window seat. It's really great. And Anna, the shops sell these little Santa packages filled with sweets, walnuts, clementines, etc., in lovely red cellophane bags. That sounds good. And here in England, Christmas morning is spent with cooking the turkey, and we eat about 2 p.m. That seems to be a fairly common one, Anna, is eating mid-afternoon. So we kind of leave it because there's so much chocolate and candies and cookies and all that sort of stuff lying around. We leave it until the evening before we eat. Audrey, 7 fishes can vary by family, but usually appetizers like fried calamari, a soup with clams or cod, a salad with herring, sardines, octopus, pasta with fish, clams, lobster, maybe a shrimp cocktail, and a main dish of shellfish or fish. Extra appetizers or a second fish in the main meal count towards the 7. It sounds like exhausting preparation, especially if you're cooking it from scratch. But it's very different from the average turkey dinner, I must say. I might have to look into that one further. It sounds gorgeous, Audrey. Mary, as kids, my five brothers, Mary? Wow. Are you the only girl? You must have had a very interesting childhood. So I bet you've got some stories to tell. Anyway, as kids, my 5 brothers and I always got an orange with 10 dimes pushed into slits cut in the rind. A real fortune. Nowadays, it's probably quarters at least, and those quarters would buy you far less than what the dimes would have in the day. So there's some, very interesting customs around. I did not realize that oranges like clementines and mandarins, and I'm holding off a sneeze here because I petted the dog. So anyway, I didn't realize until I got to North America that orange in its various forms, mandarins and clementines and stuff, was a Christmas thing. We get oranges and mandarins in Australia, but they're late summer fruit. So it doesn't really, they're not associated with Christmas at all. So it was always a shock to me when people would give me a mandarin for Christmas. It's like, huh? Anyway, I've sort of gradually learned that it's a traditional thing as well. So, okay. It's 2:27. I think we'll keep it short and sweet this week because I really didn't have anything in particular. I just wanted to talk about how different everyone's Christmas can be. So, unless there's any questions or anything anyone wants to say, I think, how about we just do lots of bubbles, wish everyone an absolutely marvelous Christmas day, and then we can go our merry ways and go back to wrapping presents. So from me to you, from my family to you, Merry Christmas. And thank you for being a reader. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for reading my books and enjoying them. And may we continue, lots of bubbles going up. Thank you. May we continue to have these chats and learn interesting things about each other. So, and of course, it's all grist for my stories too. Not that I've got anything, no agenda whatsoever. Just, and quick comments. Yes, Merry Christmas. Sandy, always put a big navel orange in the toe of the stocking. Yes, that's what I'm learning, is all these Christmas stocking traditions. Jennifer, Merry Christmas. Hello, Merry Christmas. Welcome. Audrey, I used to put cloves in the oranges and hang them to dry for an air freshener. Yes, there is a name for it that I can't remember. Pomander, something like that. Anna, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to you all. Yes, thank you, Anna. Audrey, Merry Christmas. Thank you. Janita, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Yes, but we'll talk again next week before the new year. Sandy, have a wonderful Christmas. Yes, thank you. Karen, Merry Christmas to all. Thank you, Karen. And it truly is your Christmas right now. Yes, so everyone's talking to each other, which is nice. So thank you all, everyone. I will be back next week, probably another short one because everyone will be getting all jazzed up for New Year's Eve. Have a great day tomorrow or today if it's Christmas for you already. I'll see you next week. Bye.